What's going on, guys? It's Tom. I'm back with another video, and in this video I wanted to talk about my first dental experience in the Philippines. All right, so this is what happened. Now, I needed to get a cleaning anyway, right? Like, even if this hadn't happened, I would have went and probably just gotten a cleaning at some point. Because to tell you the truth, I hadn't gone to a dentist in probably since like 2019. Since before back in the U.S., like before the right, before the pandemic, probably 6 months before the pandemic or whatever. So I was due. But what happened was what really made me go, right away is that I had this it's actually my upper left back, molar, all the way in the back, molar issue, right? And I was like, what the hell, like I couldn't even tell if it was the back one or the one in front of it, which was actually a crown, a pretty good crown actually, it turns out. So, but anyway, when I was eating, this was like a couple of weeks ago, right? At least, and this happened once before, some months back, but it didn't last very long, the pain. But when I was eating, I bit something, and it was just a small bone or something. It wasn't really that hard, but I just bit on it, and something happened, and it just, man, that pain just shot up into my gums. Like it was just like I hit a nerve. It hurt like hell. So like I said, it happened several months ago, but it went away, and I didn't really worry about it. And then it came back again. It happened again, and it didn't go away really. Like I couldn't even really chew on that side for like a week or so, and I was like, I got to get this taken care of. I'm not gonna just eat on one side of my mouth for forever. So I go to the dentist. Okay, there's actually several dentists, here. I mean, literally across the street from where we live, there's two, and then in the malls, there's like probably seven total, at least between the two malls that are closest to us. There's another mall too, Robinson's, that's a little further. That I don't know. There might be a dentist there too, but I don't know. So anyway, so we went to the one across the street, basically, and she said, she took tooth X-rays, just single tooth, like two X-rays of the two teeth, and she couldn't really see anything wrong with the tooth itself, right? So, so she said, well, maybe you just need a deep cleaning because there might be pockets and deep pockets in your gums and debris and all that in there, whatever plaque buildup. So I needed that anyway, right? So I'm like, okay, let's do that. We'll start there. So we did, right? We did the cleaning, and she did a good job. I mean, she actually, there was one of my bottom teeth in the front that had like a coffee stain. It was like a brown stain from drinking coffee because I don't smoke anymore. I quit that a long time ago, 1997 actually. But and she got rid of it, and I brushed like twice a day, but I just couldn't get rid of that stain. So she fixed that, and just fixed my. They use the water jets and everything, and cleans out the gums and all that. They call it a deep scaling here, but really it's more like a kind of like a regular cleaning, like what you get in the U.S. nowadays. And she didn't really use the pick either. Like in the U.S., my dentist used to pick. Like sometimes if it was a deep scaling, they would numb your gums. Because they're really digging up in there to clean. So this wasn't really the same as that, but it was a good cleaning. It was just a good, you know, sort of regular cleaning. And anyway, so she did that, and I got a discount too. I got a senior discount there, um, which was nice. So I think the total with for that service, right, for the deep cleaning and the two X-rays was, let's see, I believe. Oh no, you know what? It was two separate things. So the cleaning, trying to think, the initial, I did initial consultation, okay, and then the X-rays, the one day, okay, and that was like 1,100 pesos, with the discount total for that, for the consultation and the looking in there and then the X-rays, right? So not too bad, like $20. And then the next day I came back and had the cleaning, because she told me, yeah, you should probably let's just do a deep cleaning and then see what happens, from there. So the next day I went back and the cleaning was just under 3,000 pesos, you know. And now a regular cleaning, supposedly a regular cleaning would be less than that, probably like I'm guessing 2,000 or whatever, 1,500, something like that. So 3,000, that's with the discount. After the discount, uh, that's like $55, right? So I'm like, okay, and I'm rinsing and all that for not, for the after the cleaning. I'm like, okay, because I still had issues. You know what I mean? I was like, I still had that pain, so I'm like, well, okay, we didn't really fix the main problem, but at least I had the cleaning. So I went back, like maybe a week later, okay, to that same dentist, and was like, hey, this something's wrong. This tooth has to go. I think, like I think it's an extraction because I felt it move. A piece of it moved. The outer wall of the tooth was like moving. And then she noticed that too. She put her finger in there and like, yeah, there's a fracture, like in that tooth. So I'm like, okay. So let's just. And then she's like, it was kind of weird because she was like, well, I could rebuild it and this and that and this and that and and then maybe a root canal. And I'm thinking, no. I'm thinking, no. How about just pulling it? Because it's all the way in the back. I don't need it. It's damaged, obviously, and you know. So then she was said, yeah, okay. And then what they do here at the dentist is if they're going to do any kind of work like an extraction or anything that requires like Novocaine or xylocaine or whatever the hell they use that numbs out your gums during the process, they check your blood pressure, okay? And if your blood pressure is higher than 140 over 90 at that time, they won't do it. Like you'll just have to wait for 10 minutes and then they'll check it again and they'll keep doing that until it hits that 140 over 90 or less or lower, then you're good to go. That's what they do here at the dentist I'm talking about. They'll also check your blood pressure when you have a doctor's appointment, but of course they're not going to not see you, if it's over 140 over 90, but they just want to they want to log it and see, for their records to see what your blood pressure is. And they do the same thing in the US. When you see a doctor just for a checkup even, they'll check your blood pressure. The nurses will check it right away, right when you walk in the office. So she did that, and it was kind of high. It was like, whatever. It was over that. It was over 140 over 90, but not like crazy, So I'm waiting and waiting, and then she takes it. They take it again, like 5-10 minutes later, and then, and this goes on for a little while, like maybe 20 minutes or something, right? And then like we're talking, and then she's like, I don't think I want to do this because, she goes, my gut tells me, like, I think she was basically worried about, and she's telling me, oh, there's other dentists around here and all this, right? So she doesn't want to do the extraction. She says because she does like simple extractions, but this one involving a cracked tooth, she's afraid that when she's removing it, it's going to like crumble or something, and then she's going to have to dig it out, and she's not like an oral surgeon. She's just a dentist. So I'm like, okay, all right, well then, so I quickly figured, that out because sometimes Filipinos will be in a roundabout way, they'll sort of just say, oh my God, or this or that, or I don't, like they'll try to be nice or they won't spill it, you know what I mean? Like just in a succinct manner, like just tell me what the deal is, why you don't want to do it. They don't always do that. So once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, so then let's stop checking my blood pressure because you're not going to do this. So I'll just leave now, and that's what I did, and she didn't charge me for that little consultation or whatever, uh, you know. So I'm like, okay, I understand, she thought maybe it was going to turn into something where, a nightmare or something. So, all right, so I leave that dentist and I go to the next dentist, which there's another one like across the street from us, basically. And then I had a free consultation there about over a year ago on something else. And actually, this dentist, too, the one that I just left, I asked her because I had a chip on this side of a crown tooth. And I just wanted her to confirm that because I said, it feels kind of rough. So is it like a chip? She says, yeah, but it's sealed. You know, she said, there shouldn't be any issues. And I said, right, there is none. I said, there's no pain, there's nothing, you know, but I just wanted you to confirm that because I can't see it, you know. So she said, yeah, it's chipped a little bit, you know. And I said, okay, great, thanks, you know. Anyway, so I went to this other dentist, right? And, you know, you fill out the little paper, and it didn't take too long. You know, they sat me down pretty quick. And it was a young dental hygienist, right? Very young, like 25 or something. I don't know, if that. Like right out of school, look, it seemed like. And, you know, she's like, I'm telling her the whole thing. And then I told her, I think this is loose. I can feel it move in the back, all the way in the back. So she puts her finger in there or whatever, and she says she can't feel it move. So I'm like, you can't feel that? You know, I go, I just did it like 3 times in the last couple minutes, and I could feel it, you know. And, no, sir, I can't feel it. And she wants me to just take x-rays, okay? And that's like 1,000 peso, you know. And I'm assuming I don't know if it was going to be full mouth or just that tooth. Because I had x-rays from the other dentist, but she didn't give them to me, you know, the ones just for the 2 teeth or whatever. So anyway, so I'm thinking, and now this hygienist at the second place, she goes back and talks to like the boss or whatever, the head dentist, and she comes out, oh sir, we just need x-rays, you know, like she's trying to push the x-ray thing, right? And meanwhile, she's not even confirming, she can't even confirm that she can't feel it, she says. So I'm like, I put it together and I'm like, you know, this ain't gonna work. These guys just want some money for x-ray, and then, you know, and they're too young, you know, like, I mean, just as my opinion, man, you know, like, if you're going to go to a dentist or a doctor here in the Philippines, make sure they're experienced, you know, like 40 years old plus, okay? That's just my opinion, you know. You can do what you want, right? But that's what I would tell you, you know, just for obvious reasons, right, of experience, you know. They make sure they have at least 10 years experience in what they're doing, you know. So I got out of there. You know, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to learn to sort of think ahead like chess. And when you see that if something's going to be a nightmare 5 moves down the line, don't do it. You know, just cut the cord immediately. You'll save yourself a lot of time and trouble here in the Philippines. You know, you got to be proactive. You got to think ahead. You got to use your brain here. You know, don't just flop down on a chair and say, what do I do? You know, and then, because that, you know, you're going to be like 4,000 pesos later and you're still going to have the same problem or whatever, you know. So you got to learn that if you're going to be living here, you know. So anyway, so I leave, right? I go back home. I tell Amy what's going on and everything. And then I told Amy, I said, do me a favor, man, just so I don't think I'm nuts. Put your finger in there and feel that tooth, you know, make sure that it moves or whatever. And she does, and she says, yeah, it's moving a little, you know, like I said, okay, thanks. Because I thought, you know, you start to think you're crazy because the first dentist sort of acknowledged it, but then the second dentist didn't. And then you're like thinking, these people are supposed to know what they're doing, you know. Am I crazy? You know, no, I'm not. So, all right. So anyway, so now we go to the mall. Okay. We're like, you know, a little bit later on. Okay. Like a couple hours later, after we eat lunch and all that, we go to the mall. And we went to the closest mall, and there's a couple dentists over there. But we walked by the one office, and there was like 5 people in this little small waiting room waiting, and I'm just like, nah, we didn't even go in there. It's just like, that doesn't look good to me. So then we go to SM Mall, a bigger mall. There's like 5 dentists just in that one mall, you know. And we go use the directory, and we find all the dental places. And one of them, and I'll say the name because, you know, they did a good job. One of them is called Santorini Dental. Well, Santorini, for all you geography majors out there, is a Greek island. and I'm half Greek. So I'm thinking, all right, I don't know which one's good or not, but I'm thinking, let's try this one. Uh, and so we go over there, we go in there, and yeah, man, they got murals all over the walls, like Greek, literally the Greek islands. It's not just some Italian guy's name or something, because it sounds Italian, right? Santorini. If you don't know that it's an island, you might think, some guy named Vinny's gonna look at you. So anyway, so it is Santorini, the island, the Greek island. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. And there's a dentist in there, a lady, and she's like over 40. You know what I mean? Like I could tell. Um, So I'm like, cool. And then she's got two assistants or dental hygienists or whatever. And there's nobody waiting. And it's kind of a cool office, right? So I go, let's just do it. So they said, oh, sir, we will need digital full mouth X-rays. Digital. They don't they don't shove the things in your mouth like they do with the old-fashioned way. So I'm like, all right. So that's like it's like 1,200 for the whole mouth digital X-ray. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know. So we do it, and it doesn't take too long to show up, and and stuff like that. And by the way, they when I left at the end of this appointment, they gave me that X-ray too, a copy of it, on a piece of paper. So I said, okay, cool. So, uh, and they did give me a discount as well, a senior discount. Okay. So the bottom line is this: I don't like to make a long video, but I'm wrapping up here. So in closing, right? She was very good. She saw that it had a vertical crack in that tooth, and she actually kind of put a local numbing agent on my gum initially, and she popped the crack piece off because she wanted to look in there and see what it looks like, if there was any other options other than extraction or whatever. And she looked and she said, no. She said, I do recommend just extracting it. So I said, that's fine with me. I said, that's exactly what I was thinking. So, but again, back to the blood pressure now. We do the blood pressure, and it's a little above the limit. It's like 140 over 100. So they had to check it a couple times, and then it was 140 over 90, and I knew that that was the green light. So as soon as she said that, I said, all right, let's do this, because I'm sitting there for like 20 minutes, just wasting time in my mind. So we do it. She gives me 2 shots in the gums, numbs it out in like 5 minutes or whatever. And then she does it, and she did everything, like the assistants were there just to hand her tools, like she pretty much did like everything. And she's looking in there and she's making sure, and stuff like that, not just using mirrors, but, visually like looking in there while she's working. And she gets it ready, and it didn't take long really at all. Didn't hurt. She pulls it, puts it on the thing there, the tray. I say, can I see it? And I look at it, and I go, okay. And then she goes, and here's the broken piece, just if you want to see it. I go, okay, cool. Good job. And, she rinses, we rinse out a couple times afterwards, disinfect and all that. She gives me a gauze. She sticks it up there. She says, bite down on that, keep it there for 30 minutes, and then remove it. And then she gave me the instructions, and it was also printed out. For 1 week, rinse twice with salt water or betadine works good too. Just be careful with it. Don't spit a lot, and stuff like that. Just let your saliva do its work. Don't stick your tongue in there, because it's going to feel kind of funny. So she's given me good instructions. And she did prescribe antibiotics. So I did take them, but in fact, I got one more night. I just took one a day, though, because I'm thinking I probably don't need this. And I don't want to screw up if you take antibiotics, I just took them for rabies or I didn't have rabies, but actually for something else, for the infection that I might have got from my dog bite. I was pretty sure it wasn't rabies, but I was like, yeah, I'll take the antibiotic because I could have had some other infection, kind of like a staph infection or something, whatever. So anyway, and that was just a month before, so I'm like, oh God, I hate to take this stuff again. So, but like I said, I just took, instead of 2 a day, I just took 1 a day, and that's it. I'll be done after tonight. So anyway, so everything is good. They did a good job. Now you might be asking, so how much, Tom? Okay, so for this visit, the extraction was like 3,000. Okay, with the shots and everything, included. And then the X-ray was, well, it was 1,200, but actually the total was 4,200 pesos. Okay, that's after the discount. That's after the 20% discount. Okay, so you're talking what, $75? Okay, for an extraction and full mouth digital X-rays. So not bad at all. Now the other dentist with the cleaning and the initial consultation, it was like 1,150 plus 3,000. Again, almost like about 4,100. So I guess I paid about $150, right, total for all these things, right? Like there was 2 tooth X-rays, consultation, cleaning, deep cleaning, and then extraction and full mouth digital X-rays. Digital X-rays. Okay, so just run that through your heads. It'd be quite a bit more than that in the U.S. Just the X-rays would be more than $150. Like the kind where they stick the stuff in your mouth still. Like what I mean. That's what my dentist back in Chicago was still doing. And that's fine. He's a good dentist and everything. But I'm just saying. So all right, guys, that's it, man. This is a long one. I hope you guys stay tuned for it. And I appreciate you guys, watching my videos, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already doing so, or if you're not already done so, I should say. And have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you guys later.